So I got that thing going. So it took a little bit, gosh, I don't know, an hour, 5 hour, 10 minutes. And basically what I did is I used that with 40, which is probably a little bit aggressive. But I took basically whatever highs were in it out real quick. And basically then I went to an 80 and I went through my 3 blocks, Durablocks, and just brought it down by hand. So basically I was able to level most of it out with that. Now I did discover, now see, anywhere where you have metal like that, you got to stop right away, because if you keep going, you're just going to chew out more fill and this will stay high because it just can't go, or you peel it out, but really you'll never flatten it out. So as soon as that happens, stop. And with the big machine, you couldn't see that at all. It was more like you could see, like if you look here, it's dark. You can see the metal almost through the filler, like right here. So that's what all these spots looked like. And then I went to those, to the blocks, and finished out the rest. I know I have a low spot here. You can see where it didn't do nothing. And a little bit up here. I think that's okay. I'll throw a little bit of guide coat on, basically just a little bit of black, and give it a quick sand with a lighter paper just to, you know, as a block, not as to take it down so much, but just so you can see where it's high and low. Now right in this area here, these are all the sand marks from the line sanders. So basically this came smooth, but right in here, and the way they make the panel, it's almost like there's a little bit of a dent, like a low spot in here. And I think what happened is I got a little bit aggressive with that guy right there. So it took it down further than what my 16-inch block would, because it was cutting over here, and it won't take this out. So I'm gonna have to put and we're talking the thickness of paper, but that's all it takes, right? So some people say, well, just make it smooth, push your block in, but you're kind of defeating the purpose. Now the other thing I want to do, I'm gonna go look at the customer's, he's got a high-end GTX up there, same year. And I want to see, because he believes that the fender just goes, you know, kind of a little bit rounded out, but just cuts off at the door, where most of these cars were Coke bottled. So what happens is it follows the door and then slowly comes out. So right in there should almost be like a little bit of an N. And I mean, when I look up here, I don't know if I can catch it with the camera, but this here comes off the door and then it kind of rounds out a little bit. It's hard to see it. Like here the body molding goes away, and then you can really see it right there, I think. So I think what we're going to do, this is perfectly flat, which is great. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to rough this edge back all the way down, and I'm going to flood that with fill. And when I do it, I'm going to throw a nice bead of tape on the door here, and I'm literally going to fill this, but I'm going to let my spreader kind of ride the door and put enough on, because what I'm going to do is sand this right across. So what'll happen, like if you look here, the door is a little bit out, and the thing is, if I go up to the top, it's also a little bit out. Where a lot of it's okay. So we're going to fill those areas. Actually, I'm just going to fill it all the way up and basically sand off the door into the fender, and that'll make everything flow super nice. And I find when they're sitting out in a parking lot, it doesn't matter if you have a great paint job or a crappy paint job. When everything is super duper straight and flows, they just look better. Assuming, of course, you don't get a whole bunch of waves in it. So that toy down there, that's money well spent. This would have taken me half a day as opposed to an hour without it. Now I do have more work to do, but I probably would have had to do that anyways. But the shape of the fender is really nice. You'd look at it before and it looked like it was out in the middle, and you know, things weren't quite right. So now it's got a nice look to it. Once I fill out those low spots and give it another sand and then prime it, I think it's going to look pretty good. That's it for today. Cheers.